Hi, you guys. It's Lisa Shepherd. So I wanted to talk to you about, first of all, has anybody who's listening to this ever said, I do fine for a certain amount of time in the day, and then the wheels come off. Then I lose focus, and I just start eating things I know I shouldn't, and all that kind of stuff. I want to speak to that person, okay? And that person is sometimes me, although less likely now because I know kind of some of the roots behind it. Okay, so here's the scoop. I'd love to just kind of walk through maybe a sample scenario. Let's say you ate at 7 this morning. You ate at 9:30 this morning. You ate again at noon this morning. And we're talking you fueled your body with healthy protein and fiber and all that. Okay? You fueled your body. Now, you're setting yourself up well and you're doing great. But then we get to this afternoon, and a lot of times people will say, and then the afternoon comes, and it all goes away. Like, then I just start eating everything out of the cupboards or snacking on what came back from my kids' lunch or whatever the case may be, right? So what often happens, let's say there is some sort of an oops at 2 o'clock, okay? And we, it might be like some cookies got done baking, or somebody brought something over, or you're at work and some stuff in the break room took you off guard. I don't know, but we're not going to dig deep into that right now, how the 2 o'clock oops happens. We're going to talk about how a 2 o'clock oops sometimes turns into a full day off or a couple day oops. Does that make sense? So keep in mind, when 3 o'clock rolls around, let's say you fueled your body regularly till noon. Then at 2 o'clock, you had your stinking oops, right? At 3 o'clock, most people, unless you're really intentional, most people are going to talk themselves out of fueling your body at 3 o'clock because you're full. Your body is temporarily, but it's temporarily full. And you feel kind of cruddy about like whatever you oopsed on at 2 o'clock. Not like guilty. I don't want to say guilty, but you just kind of feel like, I don't feel like eating. I'm not hungry, right? So what do? We delay the next time we fueled our body. And we don't really like realize that we're kind of hurting ourselves. We're making our oops turn into a double oops. And here's why. 4 o'clock rolls around. Okay. Now I know if I look at, it's been 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It's been 4 hours now since I fueled my body. But my natural tendencies, the tendencies we were raised with, tell us that it's only been 2 hours since we ate. I really shouldn't be hungry, or I don't need to eat if I don't want to, that type of thing. So it's 4 o'clock. You've had 4 hours since you've last fueled your body, and now you're in what I used to call an over-hungry state. But really what I now kind of want to call it is you're in an under-fueled state. And sometimes that shows up as hunger, sometimes it shows up as hangry, sometimes it shows as lethargy, sometimes it shows up as just really snacky, wanting just anything. And a lot of times people would call that I just have no willpower in the afternoon. Well, I'm not saying that you have perfect willpower because you're a human being and you're not perfect. So I'm not saying you have perfect willpower, but I am saying that you have much better willpower when you're fueled than when you're underfueled. So here's my advice. Here's my recommendation. First of all, yes, let's, of course, we know we're going to try to avoid 2 o'clock oopses, okay? I'm talking about how we don't turn that 2 o'clock oops into a full day oops or moving even into the next day. Okay, what that means is at 3 o'clock, even though you don't feel like it, you should actually fuel yourself. You should actually eat your next fueling break. Now, I don't want somebody doing this if you feel like it's going to make you like literally nauseous and physically sick. But other than that, your next step is to fuel your body. Okay, guess what? You are back on track and back making good decisions. If you choose not to fuel your body, then you are most likely going to propagate for more and more bad decisions in the rest of the day. Ideally stopping it that night in the evening, but very well if it leads to a lot of underfueling in that day, you're actually not set up for a very successful day the next day. It takes kind of like more brute force willpower to get out of that than just fueling your body to get out of it, okay? So that would be my recommendation. I hope this helps somebody. Not helps you like, so that's what I do if at 2 o'clock I want to eat something cruddy every single day. No, that's not it. You won't get where you want to go if you go off your plan day in and day out, right? You won't get there as fast as you want to and all that kind of stuff. But what I do want to do is tackle that concept that is, I already messed up there. So my next step is I'm just gonna skip that fueling and move on and go from there. I can almost guarantee you if you skip a fueling, by the time you get to when you're going to eat again, you will have probably had another oops in there, and yet you'll be putting the label on yourself that says, I have bad willpower. I can't stick to anything. I'm addicted to blah, 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 right? Try it fueled. Try willpower while ensuring that you are fueled and see if that makes a huge difference. I'd love to talk more about this, but I want to keep this as short as possible. So I hope that resonates with you. Let's avoid getting underfueled. All right? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.